Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're going to push the button here. She's whispering because we're on. But we're not real. Oh, crud. Everything's new. Everything's new. Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow, look at her. You're all, let's make sure we get this here. Yeah, all right. There you go. Make sure you get the whole thing. Oh, and you need a monitor. Yep, yep. There we go. Oh, no, you can't.
Camera 6 is blocking the
Yep,
monitor.
sure. Well, now that because it needed the leg, because of the leg.
Legs, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, for fuck's sake! This is. Oh no, that's not what you want. You don't want to be looking at that. I mean, on the sex show, maybe some people do, but that's not what we were. That's not what we were going for. Oh man, you are here on an interesting night. It's already uncomfortable. I'm already awkward. Welcome back to Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. It's sex night. Hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day. If you didn't, we're going to tell you how to enjoy the rest of your February. Mrs. Ryan's here. Our guest is Arielle. How do you say your last name?
Zadok.
Zadok. I've known you for like years, and I've never had to say it. I've written it. I've never had to say it.
Zadok in Hebrew. I don't know. You can say it however you want.
Okay. Well, I don't want to upset anybody. So anyway, Arielle's here. She is a sex coach. So we'll be talking about that. I mistakenly said therapist earlier. That's because I was channeling the old Saturday Night Live, and I'll take the rapist for $100. But sex coach. She's a sex coach, and she's going to be in here, and we're going to be answering your questions because I'm already awkward and I already don't know what to talk about. Mrs. Ryan's here. We got some new stuff, new toys. We're going to be talking about that, and you and all of your questions. See who's already here. Anybody? Skip Ploss is here. Thank God. Thank God Skip Ploss is here. Tom 1983 SC is here. Chris has a camera. Nico Nutters. Thanks for being here, everybody. Oh, and some badges. They're already buying badges.
Yay!
Badges for sale, everybody. Badges. Take it away, Will. You trimmed your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. What's up, you guys? Kurt must be here. This is amazing. It's so beautiful. Hi, what's up, dude? What's up, Gus? Tommy. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you guys. Good morning. Just before the show, just for you. Just for you, we redid the bubbles. Fresh bubbles. And in fact, that before we do anything else, that leads me to viewer mail. We should probably talk about viewer mail before anything else because we got more bubbles. Here, let me turn the bubbles off so that you're not slipping and sliding out of the chair in that getup that you're wearing over there. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset, everybody. My name is Jay Ryan. To my right is Nicole Ryan. The echo goes away right now. I feel like going on? Yep. I think we're good. There was a little hum there I could hear, which is gone now. Better for my brain. How about you?
I can hear it, yeah.
It's a Wing It show. It's a Wing It show. I've been in the studio since about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning doing stuff that hopefully, I don't know, you might actually notice. That looks pretty crisp. Pretty crisp. I tooled up the lighting a bit in here. Some stuff that I meant to get to over the holidays, and I did do stuff over the holidays. It was just everything, whatever, bigger job. You know how it is. So did some more of that and feeling good about it. But our guest showed up. Mrs. Ryan was in the chair. Like, I hadn't even done a blue card yet or anything. So what I'm getting to is it's the Wing It show, another Wing It show. The only thing I can guarantee you is that we are going to be talking about sex. I'm already uncomfortable, as I told you at the top of the show. Not for any other reason other than inside I'm still a little kid, and sex makes little kids uncomfortable. So that's the truth of it all. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to handle it. I am an adult, and I've had some sex. Maybe we'll tell you why I have such a thing with it. Maybe, probably not, but maybe. We'll see how I feel. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing this evening. It's Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. It is Tradecraft Tuesday, and as we do every Tradecraft Tuesday, we medicate the missus with some sticky vape from our friends at Tradecraft Farms. And I'm going to bring the audience in here, right over there. There we go. I love it. Sticky vape today. We're having an upper. You got yourself an upper there. That actually you chose yesterday. We opened up yesterday. It's called Sour Diesel.
I really like
Sour Diesel. It's a sativa. Looks like this from our friends at Sticky Vape. And if you do, there you go. And if you do partake in the cannabis, if you smoke the weed, you're going to want to check out these Tradecraft guys. I was never into weed, so I didn't really, it wasn't a thing I really knew about or had my hand in. But ever since they moved in across the street down by the LA downtown arts district there, they have been supplying the missus with some medication here in the form of the sticky vape stuff. And I guess you get some pre-rolls and occasionally some flour from them as well. But mainly it's the stickies. And that's what we medicate with on the show for your medical, what is it? No, your multiple sclerosis, but it's your medical, it doesn't really matter. I guess you can have whatever you want because it's legal here recreationally as well. But for you, I mean, you need it medicinally. Medicinal, that's the word I was looking for.
medicinal marijuana, yeah. It's legal.
How you feeling today? It's a crap day.
Today's rough, but it's very disconnected, so I feel fine because I don't feel anything.
You don't have to do anything for this show. Just enjoy the ride. I hope that everyone will get to talk. I certainly hope it's not just me, because if I didn't mention, I'm already uncomfortable. Hey, look, 7 badges already. 7 badges. Card done yet. Guards are rad. Today's show is the flummoxed show. Yeah, but I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about some other things. So we should probably talk about them. Let's see. Let's start with this one. Oh, what's that? Who's here? Well, nobody necessarily, but that pretty soon is going to be part of a new segment called the Playset Pop-In. And I think what we're going to be doing is we'll have our main guests on Thursdays from now on. We'll try. This is going to be the goal. And then we'll have Tuesday's show will just be us. And then if there is a guest, it's a Playset Pop-In where we get the... And then they come in and it's a little bonus type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
That's
a lot
so
of our
fun.
a lot of our old friends that we used to have on the show in the very beginning still want to do the show, and we still want to do the show with them. But you know how it is with like the clicks and the views. When you're chasing the clicks and the views, they need the names and the who's and what's it's and the shiny thing. We've seen him already, and I'm like, but we want to hang out. So whatever. So maybe they hang out on Tuesdays. It'll be a Playset Pop-In, and it goes like this. Now, obviously, all I'm trying to show you is that we got a sound effects thing over here. So, if we wanted to do this, something like this, for the people, the purists out there, I won't be doing this very often, but the purists like things like this. I've loaded in some other ones for when a guest, perhaps I don't like something they say. And by the way, they're all touch sensitive, so if I really don't like it. This one's for you. Phew, phew, phew. But mainly, just whenever we have a guest transition, I don't have to, we can, it's not so awkward. I can just, you know what I mean? We have that or whatever. We can jam it out if we want. I loaded a new one in. Here, check this out. When Arielle comes in, it's going to sound like this. I don't remember what else is here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Still only 7 badges. I don't know why. Once we started with the sound effects. Here, how about this one? This is the last one, I think.
That means we need more badges, folks.
Yeah. And touch sensitive, so it doesn't have to be that bad.
So great.
I love a new toy. God, when Reggie was in here, he was like, "It's like a model train set." I was like, "I know. I want more buttons." Oh, the doorbell is also kind of like a correct answer on a game show.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then there's also, okay, who's over that? Let's wear it out on the first day. But that's an exciting thing, and I should thank Damon McCarthy for finding a link to the thing I needed. I need an old school thing. It can't be new with a USB into a computer. I don't need that. I need an old school sample pad, like, in the day when the drum machine, whatever. So we got it. And as I mentioned, lighting should be a little better for our guests as well. Jay, are you nervous because of the conversation? That's literally the only reason I'm nervous. It's the only reason I'm nervous. I don't get nervous. I got nervous a little bit when Jay Leno was here, but because it was weird. I wasn't nervous when we invited him here. I wasn't nervous when he got here. I was nervous when he was in here because it was weird. It was weird. I don't really get nervous. I can't think of another. When Dave gets here, I don't think I'll be nervous because I'm so friggin' ready for that conversation. This is solely about the sex. And no real reason. It's just, we're alone here. There's not a studio audience. It's like, oh, we're going to be talking about sex. Dark room. It's weird. It's not weird. It's very natural. Our guest is going to tell us how natural it is. I'm floundering because there's nothing on the blue card. I was supposed to tell you about the new stuff. I did that. I told you about some new lights. I knew there was more stuff than that. Oh, there's viewer mail. That's what it is. There's a couple things I want to tell you. Our buddy Taylor, Analog Speed, took some beautiful photos the other day over at Breakfast Club. He takes great photos anyway, but he took some Polaroids there, and thanks for the Polaroids. And then I mentioned the bubbles. This is good for us, but it's good for everybody else too. I said we need some refills on the bubbles. Oh, Lordy! And they sent us. Oh, this is really heavier than it looks. And they sent us more refill stations for the bubbles.
Great.
And that is fantastic for us because that's what we need.
Yay.
But wait, there's more. Oh, that's not all, folks. They also sent this other box, and this other box is good for everybody else. Because what we have here is some retail bubble tree for everybody. We're always telling everybody how good, and by the way, this isn't to sell, but I mean, that's what these are. We'll figure out ways to give these away. We'll give them away up at Breakfast Club, things like that. But wait, there's more. Okay. And I think what... Anyway, I think we're good on Bubble Tree for a while. So thank you to our friends at Bubble Tree. Bubble Tree, you're amazing, and I'd like to remind everyone that the best bubbles in the world are made by Bubble Tree. And Bubble Tree is the American Bubble Company. All right, one of these will be an open box, but the rest of them... I'm so excited. So now, oh jeez, that was almost. So now, if a guest wants to have some bubbles before they leave, it's not like I got to run all around the house and find some bubbles from someplace. Yeah, we just have them here.
Right
bubbles,
there.
bubbles right here. Thank you, Bubbletree. All right. Some people are tuning in just for the sex, I know. You know, there's not going to be any actual sex. I don't think there's going to be any actual sex, is there?
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, yeah. No sex. What was it? I'm happy about that one. We just watched the Dons put up. Oh, for the 40th anniversary of Late Night, Dons put up the countdown to Late Night and whatever. So we watched a few minutes of the pilot of that show and this show, I guess. And he's like, "Well, what? You're wondering to yourself, what else does this show have? Well, we got one of these." It's a buzzer. I know I have to do commercials because that's an obligation. Is there anything else I need to talk about? There was East Coast Feeds. We'll have to do that on Thursday. And I know there was other stuff I'm supposed to do. It all slipped my mind. Bubbles. You know what I'm saying. Sonny Putro is here. Bubbletree, that's a whole bubble forest, damn it. I don't know what it means. FD Motorsports is here. Hello to Darren and the whole FD Motorsports team. Everyone who has complimented the exhaust lately obviously gets the same answer from me. But in case anybody doesn't know, Yellow Car's new exhaust is FD Motorsports. Yeah, Pfister Designs. Darren Pfister. Really, really good stuff. Car sounds how it should have from the factory. That's my personal opinion. So, amen, well done. Or well done, amen. Or our photo, look at that. Speaking of my childhood and sex, god damn it. No, I didn't have sex with her in my childhood, but...
Thought about it, maybe?
No, I was around... See, this is why...
You left it open.
Yeah, no, not that. Not that. But she knows the people involved and my mother and all that other stuff from back then. You know what I mean? You know the people from your youth who really know the inside out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just stories, like they were there.
Yeah, they saw it. All right, scroll all the way down here. Back to... yeah, I'm waving. All right, well, we'll just do this and we'll get right in here, okay? They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage of their toys. What types of toys, Mrs. Ryan?
Collector.
That's right! Licensed in most states, St. Clair shops top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. Check out St. Clair Insurance by simply going to... Get your computer out of the closet, put it on the table, plug it in, dial up your Google. Well, dial up if you have to do it, but otherwise, get up your Wi-Fi, go to Google, and you get that www dot going, okay? Once you've done that, okay? Now you're with me. Now Mrs. Ryan comes in. Simply go to coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Yep, nailed it.
Jeez Louise, today's rough.
Whoa.
Oh, so sorry.
It's awesome. Coverageforyourtoys.com. On behalf of Mrs. Ryan, who doesn't have much of a voice or energy today, this is Jay Ryan from Late Night Playset, reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment below. It'll help the sex talk, I guarantee it. And, it'll also, it's also smoke. It's also fire. It's going to be fire. Fire. Speaking of new things, it might be time for the fire routine, because this is really, it's happening, but it's, hello. Thanks for the fire. It'll be fire. Crazer TV is here. Jay, wife, how are you doing?
Fine.
How are you, Jay, wife?
I'm always the same. Like, not dead.
She's not dead. Yui on you. I always have a hard time with this one. Yui on you. EUIYEONYOO. Yui on you. Isn't it? I'm not trying to make fun of him. You're laughing at me. Oh, man. Should we talk? All right, that's one thing I wanted to bring up real quick. The comments on the Jay Leno show, mainly about the laughter. Uh-oh. I think did I tell you in real life, or did we talk about it on the show? On the show. I think the issue was that Jay was really far away from the microphone, and I didn't want to go reach into his face and put it there like I do with most people. I did on the show? Okay. Yeah. I think it was that. So I think simply because you were just closer to yours, like, it just seemed... That's what I think. Because it's not like any other episodes get that. And we have other episodes that get
True.
way more views than the Jay Leno one.
True. It is what it is. Like, I never liked my laugh. Like,
Everybody else loves it.
totally. And I can't control it, or I would, but I've given up all pretense of trying to control anything.
Oh,
It doesn't work.
well, I think you're awesome. So does everybody else. It was great seeing you and Nicole on Saturday and Sunday. County Line. Yeah, no shit. That's what we were supposed to talk about. Man, this weekend was nuts. Maybe that's why maybe that's why you're exhausted. Is that possibly it?
I'm sure that's adding to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, big one. Saturday we did 2 things, but we did them early, and then we came back and tried to rest, and I think we spent most of the day on the phone, but we ended up going like pretty far to 2 things and being out much longer than we thought we would. We did the Beverly Glen, like we said, and then we ended up going out to County Line. Because that's what we heard all the cool kids were doing, so we said, well, let's go check it out. And we did, and it was great. And it was great seeing our friends. And I'm bummed that we missed Beverly Glen. You know, we kind of went early instead, and we missed some people there. But, you know, that happens every month, so we'll see them again. And then Sunday was the big day. Holy crap. Sunday we anticipated
That
being
was
out for
long.
just a short amount of time. We said, we'll just go to the Malibu thing with Reggie for a little bit. And, my God, that was at 6 a.m., I think, when I was making those plans. And we didn't get home till 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that, p.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
Holy crow. So we went to Malibu. I texted Susie from the Malibu kitchen because, like we told you all, that we were going to show back up there on Sunday, which we did. And she said, don't. It's all blocked off. She goes, I can't even get in. Going home, ha ha ha. I don't think she actually went home. But so she let us know that whatever, it was barricaded. And we had heard from Spike that it was going to be closed off. So whatever. Reggie said, there's this thing at the Bluffs. Let's go there. I said, the old one at the Bluffs. Sure. So we went there first. And I don't know, an hour or so, whatever. No, it was probably a while because we closed that down.
Yeah.
After that was over, one thing led to another. He texts people all the time, and people are always texting him. Like, he is so good on the thing. Mine, I'm like, put it under the seat in the cushion. Like, I don't want to look at it right now. So sorry, I don't get back to people very well. I'm working on it. But he was texting somebody, and he said, come out to, where the shit did we go? Finish Line. The Finish Line Cars and Coffee was going on. So we busted out all the way out to Agora, up PCH, came and did the whole thing. And it was nice. It was very nice. Saw a bunch of people. Had a couple Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you to Bumper to Bumper or whoever sponsors their Dunkin' Donuts. It was nice. And then we went back to Malibu Mart. And again, yeah. And then we really got in, and then we really parked, and then we were there forever. That's what it was. And then you pulled up. And then we were like, hey, park over here. And you did. And then that was a scene because your car was coughing fuel and it wouldn't turn off. And then you pulled it in, and then all the guys swarmed on with borrowing screwdrivers from all the different places and trying to get things going. And then they started tweaking your car, and they were working on it.
And it's great now, by the way. It's great. Tony did a great job.
It sounded amazing before you left.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were there till, goodness gracious, very late. And, I know we were there until 2 o'clock because then all of a sudden we got invited to a Super Bowl party. Now, we were going out in the morning to come back and watch movies all day because we weren't going to go to the Super Bowl party because we didn't even know about a Super Bowl party, but we're not sports people. Who gives a shit? Malibu Mart was mellow on Sunday, probably because of the barricade rumors. Well, there were no rumors. I mean, it was true, right? Or was it not true? Did we just get there late after? Whatever. And we ended up going. We said, well, we'll show up because it's kind of on the way home. And then it was, it's not where we thought it was. It's not really on the way home. And we said, well, we'll go anyway because And then on our way there, and then we see Paul Rivera in the Murcielago by the old place, and he's like, hey, where are you going? I was like, hey, where are you going? And he's right over here. And he's like, all right, okay. So he makes a U-turn, and then now all of a sudden we're all going to the Super Bowl party just to make an appearance. Reggie was like, I'm not going. I can't. That one I got to go to something else. And I was like, we're all just. We're not going to be there. Oh, okay. We're not going to be there long. Okay. We all sort of agreed and made this pact. Like, we're just going to show up, do a little social visit, see our friends and the hosts, who are also friends. And you know how it is. One thing leads to another. We parked. They had a great spot right for your little chair by the
Yep.
pool, which was surrounded by like steps and chairs, and we were able to just kind of make a little conversation pit around you. You weren't lower than everybody else for a change. In fact,
Yay.
some people were higher than you were. No, well, whatever. Some people were lower. Most
We were
people were
leveled.
lower than
we were
you.
leveled.
It was really, really great, is all I'm trying to say. And we ended up staying there the whole time.
It's a good group of people.
I'll say this, as a non-drinker, driving back from the Los Angeles winning Super Bowl after the Super Bowl, rough. Like playing Frogger, avoiding all of the nonsense. I mean, everybody in LA was on the road because everybody was someplace, and they were all going back to wherever they live. And apparently, people drink during the Super Bowl. I was not aware of this. It's like a thing. People do it. And it just seemed like we were dodging. No, every car was all over the place. You couldn't find a safe place. And it was just really, really awkward. And the traffic was atrocious.
It was pretty bad.
Mm.
I don't miss driving. That was rough.
That's good to know. People have asked you that before on the show if you miss driving. I'm going to log this answer because...
I'll forget, but I don't. I realized it was always more stress than enjoyment. I always printed out directions and I wasn't going far enough to have fun. So it was... I'm better now.
Yeah. We all are. All right, let's see what's going on over here on the YouTubes. We got some comments going. Love Face, online strips. Okay. Is that a friend of yours, Arielle?
Nope.
All right.
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, just making sure. Well,
But if you're a new friend, hi.
They sure like what's going on here.
Great.
Love Face XYZ online strips is all about the emojis, and they're not like, super inappropriate. So,
All right.
well, you know what I'm saying. Like,
Totally.
could be worse. And I may have spoken to kiss. Well, I don't know what that. It's not raining, right? So maybe. All right. Sorry, Instagram. You'll see on the YouTube. We whatever. I was afraid to drive up because of the Super Bowl. Yeah. I don't blame you. We thought we'd be safe going from we were out in like by the Rock Store, like that area, and what is that, Agora, Cornell. We were coming back, to like Universal Studios area, and we thought, well, we're nowhere near Inglewood or even downtown. And we thought, oh, that'll be fine. The 101 coming from this direction would be great. Did not occur to me that everybody else was at a Super Bowl party.
We took Mulholland, and I didn't even consider the fact that it's going to be like a bunch of people having these dope parties in their big, beautiful houses. So the streets were lined with cars. It was so hard to drive. It's hard to drive on Mulholland.
Oh,
to
people
begin
parked.
with.
People parked
Oh,
all
yeah,
around.
No, people were we were out of our minds. It was extraordinary. Almost all of Mulholland was just lined with cars, and there was we came around a turn and there was some guy that just stopped a minivan around a bend. And I'm the old lady yelling from my car that's dangerous. You shouldn't do such a thing. Go up forward, sir. That was me. Tiny little British car.
Oh yeah, because you were in the very well-tuned MG. Anyway, it was great, but it was exhausting. I was absolutely exhausted by the time we got home from that one. What a day. I was at the Malibu CNC at 7 a.m., made sure to get home by 11 a.m. Sunday was crazy. The lovely Arielle. Love this woman. Greg FX guy says.
Oh, thanks, buddy. He's an incredible special effects artist. So when you see horror movies and all the blood and the gore and all the heads popping off, Greg does that, and he is incredible. We worked on a Kevin Smith film together a few years ago, and he's awesome.
Oh,
so,
which one?
Kilroy Was Here.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that walrus one.
No, that was before us.
That was some weird effects on that one where they turned the Mac guy into a walrus.
It was Robert Kurtzman, who Greg works with, that did all the special effects, who, fun fact, also did the penis on Mark Wahlberg for, what was that, 70s?
Boogie Nights.
Yeah, that's the one.
I mean, unless there's another. Could be more than one. Who knows?
He does Freddy Krueger, too, but, I like the dick fact.
What Freddy Krueger?
The current one is he's the only one that'll let him. I don't know names. Don't put me on the spot with names. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, but now you're messing with
Robert English.
Now, close, pretty close. Now you're messing with me though, Robert Englund.
England. I was so close.
But he hasn't been Freddy since I don't know, 1990, 89?
Well, I mean, he was doing it back then. I don't know if he did the original one. Greg's going to have to fact check me here.
No, that was a different guy. But I know all of those guys, too. It was Kevin Yeager and a guy named, not Dennis Miller, but David Miller, maybe. Yeah.
I'm so bad with names, as you can tell.
Sure. Well, that's all right. You brought it up.
I know.
By the way, how many Instagram accounts do you have? Because I saw that you have a different one for sex coaching, and that's
yeah.
So I shall like that one too, I guess.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I have a few. I have one for just personal stuff. I have one for pole dancing that does have the sex stuff on it, and then one for cars. And I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I'm just doing. I honestly use the car account more than anything. Who'd have thunk that that's where I hang out all the time? But it's because of all of you, and I love you.
Because your hair matches the car.
That part too.
It was empty. Cars were turning around and leaving after they spotted the caution tape. We missed all of that. And I had a great time. But man, crazy pants. All right. I think we've done it. We've done the stuff. We need to take a quick break. So it's not, I don't know why I air quoted it. It's going to be quick. It's a set amount of time. I can't change that. To get Arielle in here, we'll move some cameras around real quick. Listen to these brief messages from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Mrs. Ryan.
Made by bears.
Took everything from
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
There you go. What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
You don't need to stick it. He's already got it. So excited. My car's going to feel slow as balls after this, I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
See how this works. Is it this one? I think it's this one.
Yeah, you did it.
I did do it. All right, hang on. So we're going to try this. All right, see if I can do this right. Oh, I didn't write anything for her. All right. So, well, anyway, you know her from Breakfast Club. You know her from all the Instagram accounts, and Babes and Classics. And what's your
Champagne Woo.
Champagne Womb. Champagne Room. Everyone gets it right. We both met through Chris Rock, so that's extra funny to me because there's no sex in the Champagne Womb. Anyway, Arielle is here. Come on in, Arielle. Let's see. I'm going to try it. You did it so quickly, I didn't have a chance to use it, all the stuff. But anyway, here you go. Bring that over close to you, and I will move the Instagram audience over here. That's what I forgot to do before. There we go.
There we go. Is correct.
Everyone says thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm
This
good.
is nuts. Look at this. We're in here for real. We're really doing it. I'm going to have to go
know.
change that because I didn't do that well at all. But I'm very happy with the lighting.
Yes, this lighting is beautiful.
You girls say hello, and I'm going to make that camera a little bit.
We are gonna do all of that. It's nice to be in here. I mean, the first time I came here, we came in here and we played, and it's like, oh my God, your studio is amazing. And it is. It's so impressive in here. And you know me, I have a history of being, my whole career is in television. So I have a deep appreciation for
You're a production person. Hey, I'm over here on this mic. You're a production person.
I am. So I have a deep appreciation for this entire setup. And you sent a beautiful email, of course, that I was like, this is a great email.
Oh, you complimented the welcome email.
Of course I did.
Well, what was it? Why?
Because it was very clear, it was very organized, it was well thought out, and it had very clear, explicit instructions. And when you are welcoming someone into anything, clear, explicit instructions are great because they set expectations, which is also essential for relationships.
Oh, you're coming at it from a...
Wasn't even trying to.
Whoa. All right, I gotcha. Forgive me. I think I can settle in now. I think everything is where it needs to be.
I mean,
so we can start adjusting other things.
We can adjust other things. Look, I start all of my sessions with some breathing, so I'm just saying.
Do you?
If we need to do some breathing, yeah, I start every session with a meditation.
Let's do some breathing. Let's do some breathing. Is everybody ready for this? Is anyone else? Yeah. All right. Cool. You're liking it. I see hearts over there.
We'll do a quick one. It'll just be very quick. So.
Now I have to tell you, I changed this to.
You did.
To sex coach.
Yes.
Because I had sex therapist there, but you're not actually a registered. We can't say therapist because that's like, you need like a diploma and all that shit.
Yes, my certification is in coaching, which is a different practice than therapy.
There you go. Yes. Still certified, just it's a different thing.
Exactly.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Now that that's clear and the disclaimer has been
has been had.
Did I show you this? Oh,
who's here?
Who's here? Could be anybody.
It's me. I was gonna curse, and then I was like, I listen to this show all the time, but do I curse? Do I not curse? I don't know.
Well, what do you do when you listen to it? Do you curse or don't you curse?
I don't know what other people do.
Oh,
I mean, I curse because I say things like "f yeah" when I'm like really excited. I do talk to myself.
But F isn't a curse. Oh, you don't say F.
I say fuck yeah. Can I say fuck? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, we're going to be talking about sex. That's sort of a slang term.
Good.
Sort of a... Is slang the right word? It's
sure.
A slang term for sex.
It's another way to say intercourse.
Oh! Oh!
Which is not only penetration. That's a small part of it.
Oh, tell me.
Ooh.
Where do we want to start with you? Do we talk? Because we know you through the car scene. You're a great friend. You really work on the show. You are an associate producer here. You helped us raising funds. You are the official archivist of the show. So, like, we know you. You're our friend. We hang out with you. But I've never... Like, we don't talk much about this. So I don't know. I guess we have a little bit. I don't know. Where do we start with this? What's good for people? I don't have a 1 to 10 for like, here's how you talk to a sex therapist. My experience was Dave talking to Dr. Ruth in the old days.
Yeah, I grew up with that as well. I mean, I was far too young to be taking this stuff in, but I was the kid that my family had HBO, and
whoa.
I know. Don't worry, we also had a black box, and we were 100% stealing everything else.
Oh, okay. My dad had one of those
box, right?
out of the back of a truck, yeah.
I wonder who was actually paying for pay-per-view. All of us had black boxes.
My dad said if he gave the guy, I'm sorry, here we go. Whatever, keep it about that.
No, listen,
if you gave the guy like $50 back in the old days, which was a lot in the old days, probably like a couple hundred now, you know, they would like turn it on for you, or they would give you the different box, the black box or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah.
That makes sense. My dad is a guy that has, he's like a guy that has a guy for everything. So that
was it. That was my dad. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
totally.
Sure.
So yeah, you know, I grew up watching Real Sex on HBO, just being fascinated by all the different types of ways that people could exist in the world, which is incredible because there are so many different ways, and sex is extraordinarily expansive, as are relationships.
It's expensive?
Well, for some people, yeah, depending on how you're getting it or what you're doing or what you're into. But it's expansive. And I was also listening to Dr. Ruth, like, you know, tucked under my bed. I think I was like 8 years old, like really, really young. But I just always found this stuff completely fascinating. And the thing is that
what was fascinating about it to you? Because it was fascinating to me also, but mainly because it was like, you know, taboo is not the right word, but what's when you're not supposed to?
Yeah, no, taboo. I mean, it's
like you weren't supposed to. You know what I mean? Like it was
taboo.
Puritanical
shame.
New England is where I grew up, right?
Yeah.
So
totally.
Yeah, okay.
Guilt, shame, it's all of those things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which is all bullshit. So you know, for me, I would say it's just the different ways that people live their lives, which I'm still forever fascinated with. but also the different ways that people can achieve intimacy, connection, pleasure. These things are accessible to us in a plethora of different ways. And even thinking about disability, people who are paraplegics, they may not be able to feel their genitals, but it doesn't mean that they can't have orgasm, and it doesn't mean that they can't have pleasure. So these things are accessible to all of us, but we have these blockers, and we have these ideas, and we have these beliefs that are put upon us by other things and other people, like religion, like society, like your parents, like your TV, wherever they come from. They're usually not from you. And so it's just fascinating. I found it fascinating, and I still do, to see all the different ways that humans can access pleasure and access connection and access intimacy. Intimacy isn't just sex, and sex is not just a penis and a vagina. There's so much more.
Well, I'm with you on the intimacy part. In fact, I think sex is probably the least important part when it comes to the intimacy. I don't know what you do with that. How do we help people? Are there like what is your coaching practice? How does that work? Do people find you online and they go like, hey, we need to talk to somebody because like I got questions and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So it starts there.
Yeah, it does start there, and every person is different. I don't necessarily work with, this is the exact structure, and we're going to cover this in week 1, and this in week 2, and this in week 3. It's a very intuitive process, and although some coaches do have, this is my program, and it's marketed, and that's wonderful, and that's great, but for the most part, the best way to really support someone is to meet them where they're at. So I can go into a session thinking, great, we're going to talk about communication and how you communicate with your partner today, but what's coming up for my client may be something dealing with intimacy, or something dealing with their actual sex and having sex and how to go about sex, or something with their partners, or who knows what's coming up for you today. I mean, you guys are used to that. You don't know what the day is going to bring, and you don't know what to expect out of the day. So you, I imagine, have probably learned to meet yourselves where you're at, even though sometimes that can be extraordinarily hard.
What we have to do, yeah. It's what she does every day.
Mm-hmm. So I meet my clients where they're at, and we just talk about what's coming up. That's why I like starting with the breathing exercises. Because...
Oh, yeah, back to that. Sorry.
Oh.
No, that was my bad.
No, that's fine. But, in sessions, I do start with that because it just grounds us. It gets us on the same page. It gets us breathing together. And sometimes things come up in those quiet moments and in those moments where people are just with themselves. And then we can explore. And maybe it is something that we talked about the last week. Maybe it is something that I gave them to work on that we're going to talk through. But inevitably, if you are intuitive about it and you ask people good questions that will result in them giving you full answers, there's so many places that you can go, and it's my job to figure out what's underneath this, what do we really need to talk about, how can I help this person uncover what's going on so that we can explore different ways to work through it.
I would imagine it's just like any other type of psychotherapy where there are blockages, whether they're emotional or physical, whatever. There must be releases. There must be, people probably have traumas attached sometimes. I'm guessing there's probably all sorts of different... It must be the same as a head shrinker.
Yeah, they're similar practices. So where therapy is going to be more, I would say therapy is more asking questions and kind of digging into the past a little bit more. Coaching is more proactive, where we're going to do that, but also I'm going to give you homework. And maybe you do it, maybe you don't do it. I'm not ever going to tell anybody what to do. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm going to offer options. And then we explore what those options are. If I gave you homework as a suggestion, then we'll talk about, did you do it? Did you not do it? What did you learn? What came out of that? So it's more actionable than therapy is. Because therapists generally, some therapists do because they integrate that into their practice.
But they're the ones undoing the knots. You're being like, all right, do this exercise, do this, try this. Yeah.
Yeah. And we
put a
untie the
pillow
knots.
here, do this, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's part a little bit more of the sex educator part of things, is to teach people the different tools that they have. Again, like sex toys, some people just have to use them because it's not accessible to them. A penis is not accessible to them for a plethora of different reasons, but they like the sensation of penetration.
Sure.
So that's where a sex toy can come in, or even if you do. And I mean, there's just so many different ways to use all of these things.
Sure.
But yeah, most of it comes down to your belief systems. So,
how so? Oh, because certain things maybe you're not supposed to do, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Supposed to or should.
No, that's what I mean.
Exactly.
Within their constructs.
Yeah, I mean, that's exact. The air quotes is 100% correct, because anytime you're thinking, oh, I should do that or I shouldn't do that. Well, where is that should actually coming from? Is that coming from you and what you authentically want to do? Or is it coming from somebody told you this is the way it is?
Right.
Or somebody told you believe in this or that, or sex is bad, or sex toys are your enemies, or whatever the case may be. So a lot of the work that I do is helping people to understand, what is your belief around this thing? Is it helping you or is it hurting you? And what is actually the truth? Because in most cases, what your belief is bullshit. It's not the truth.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's
no,
just
it's not your intuition. It's some of the programming you got along the way.
Yeah. So we have to work to undo that sometimes. So sometimes sessions are going to go into something like that practice where we're uncovering a belief system and we're breaking it down. We're understanding it so that we can then readjust it and uncover what is the actual truth, because it's the quiet voice. It's like the truth is always hidden way down deep in there when we don't want to hear it for whatever reason. So we have to uncover that and understand that and trust that.
When I make the choice to eventually do stand-up, it's going to be nuts, because a lot of it has to do with, like, this stuff during my young life. You know what I mean? Like, really weird, stuff that's horribly inappropriate. I shouldn't say nothing inappropriate. Horribly, hideously inappropriate. I just wasn't ever, like, molested or touched or anything. But, like, around and privy to and aware of insane things that I shouldn't have been aware of and around and privy to at early ages, et cetera, which then put this kind of a crazy, well, what's right hierarchy of everything I think that you're talking about. So I probably my own self suffer from a little bit of that. And then the complex side of that is, puritanical New England of like, no. You know what I mean? So I myself know a lot of, when I say I'm nervous, I'm afraid of what I might say on the show. I'm not nervous to talk about sex. You and I, we've talked about sex off the air.
Yeah.
It's not about that. But I'm not really ready to talk about I'm not ready to unpack my baggage on the show today. So maybe her, maybe you. I definitely want to talk about the viewers by all means.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know anything about sex, or if you have any questions, by all means, let's line them up here and get them going. Oh, Reggie Watts is here.
What's up, Reggie?
Of course he is.
Hi.
Of course he is. Now, but he's probably on his show right now, because they record at
I
the
think
same
he's
time.
done with his show, depending on what time it is.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's probably almost 6.
Because they work on the same schedules.
You're right. Oh, your show too?
All the shows.
All of us.
They all tape at like 4:30.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Arielle works also. Can we say what your day job is?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Tell everybody.
Actually, no, I don't think so, because I work for a major corporation, so they probably do want to keep this stuff separate.
Right, but you can say.
Yeah, I can say. So the job that I do, my day job, which is really, it's actually very interesting that I've wound up in this position. So I mentioned earlier that I have always worked in production. I am a trained certified holistic health coach. I'm a trained certified sex educator, trained certified in yoga, all these things. And I currently work as a senior health and safety manager, overseeing several shows at a studio. And that is integrating health and production in a wild way, because it's COVID and no one was trained in that before this except for infectious disease doctors. But it's been a really interesting...
Reggie is on YouTube as well. Yes, I'm watching.
Yes, Reggie. Can we have like a Reggie appreciation moment? Because I love this dude.
I know.
There's certain people that you meet in life, and you two are them, and he is them, that you meet them, and instantly you're like... You're my friend. I know we're friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were always friends, but we're only just meeting now. That's how I felt with the two of you. It was like, I met you, we jammed on something for like 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, these are my friends. How come I'm only meeting them now? That's so weird. So that was just some love and appreciation for all of you.
There's something about, I don't know, real people gravitate towards real people. There's a frequency thing, there's a vibrational thing, and I feel this about myself. I feel it about Reggie for sure. Old souls tend to find each other.
Yes.
I find that you're probably in that category, not knowing you as well as some other people. I feel like you've got some knowledge to you that's beyond your years. So perhaps that's part of it. Perhaps we're all just kind of gravitating towards that same thing too.
Yeah, and I think it's also, Magnus is like this as well, and I think it's very much follow your gut. Like, he's another one of those people where I'm like, I had no idea who he was. Like, I don't know anything about anything. Now I do. Now I've been educated, and I read his book, and it's amazing, and all of you should read it because it's so inspirational, and he's led an incredible life. And so much of it is about following your gut, and I've been like that as well, and I know that the two of you have too. And
intuition, everything.
Intuition.
You know the right answer
Yeah.
inside you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For you.
For you, exactly. Yeah. And that's what everything I do is too. But there's also there's a level of intimacy that I think certain people just have the ability to create with one another. And it can happen really instantly, and it's really beautiful. And that is fueling for life, and that is fueling for us as human beings.
Do you think that's the artistic nature of the people that we're talking about? Because there's a certain vulnerability that comes along with that. And sometimes when someone's vulnerable, you can melt lions. I mean, some of the meanest people around you sometimes will absolutely soften and be your best friend ever if you simply show them that, like, oh, here's my belly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if we want to really get woo-woo about it,
let's get woo-woo.
Let's talk chakras for a second.
Sure.
So the sacral chakra is right around here. It's right where your genitals are, and that is your creativity center. So when we're talking about sex, when we're talking about sexuality, when we're talking about creativity, all of these things are intertwined because at its core, sex is a vehicle for life, right? Even if we're not using it for that. So when we orgasm and when we are in pleasure and when we are tapping into that, whether that's through our creativity or through our actual sex, we are tapping into our vitality. We are tapping into our life, into our creativity center, into our life center. And that,
I love that.
And there's also, of course, different hormones that are being excreted and other excretions.
Well, in the physical for sure, but it's also even consciousness. It's all the bigger consciousness.
Yeah,
Speaking of woo-woo.
Speaking of woo-woo, I mean, we get woo-woo in this group. That's true.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, woo. Woo.
Woo! But yeah, I mean, all of these things are connected. And when we have blocks, if you're doing Reiki and you have a block in that center, you're probably blocked in your sexuality as well, or you're probably blocked in your creativity. If you're blocked in your sexuality, you're probably also blocked in your creativity. If you're blocked in your creativity, you're probably, like, these things are all connected. So that's why holistic health coaching, which is what I'm trained in, looks at the whole human being. So you can come and tell me, hey, I want to lose weight. I don't do this type of coaching anymore. But if you come up to me and you say, hey, I want to lose weight, I'm going to be like, that's so great. Let's talk about your work. Let's talk about your relationships.
It's the lifestyle.
What's your religion like? Yeah. What is, it's everything else, because we are whole human beings. And that's why when we take sex off the table and we take relationships off the table, even as it comes to education, that hurts us as human beings, because sex and sexuality is a part of our humanity, even if you're asexual, which means that you don't like to have sex with other people or even yourself in some cases. There's a whole spectrum of that. That's for another episode.
Sure.
But it is a part of us as humans. And when we take that off the table, like so many of our cultures have taught us to do, that is blocking us as human beings as showing up as our whole human self. Because our whole human self incorporates sexuality and our genitals and all of these things and pleasure.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but Audical said Reggie is the best. And
so is Paul. Paul, I love you too.
And Reggie said thank you.
See, this is this community. And just as you said, when I rolled up and everyone's like, I don't like how the way that sounds, I should have told my dad that story.
Oh, how they all
make
swarmed!
Him feel so happy that I'm taken care of.
There were so many things wrong with it. You rolled up, your trunk was unhatched because your purse was hanging out of it. So one guy went over to go fix that, and another guy popped the hood. Like, it literally looked like a '50s filling station of, like, where the four guys roll out. Check the air, miss.
Listen. Y'all make sure my car is straight. I will make sure your relationships are straight, because
okay.
I've said this a few times. Save the cis straight man and save the world.
What?
Yeah, half the people definitely did not understand any word I just said.
I didn't either. Did I phase out for a little bit? I lost it. I don't know.
Probably.
I didn't understand any of it. I thought we were talking about the car and how the guys all...
Yeah, I'm just making weird comparisons, dude.
Oh, good for you.
That's
okay.
That's
good
how
for
I
you.
roll.
You're awesome. We love you.
Yeah, I love you too. But no, truth be told, and I love straight men. I date straight men, so don't get me wrong. Y'all are great. Y'all don't know.
She went back to what I couldn't understand before. Now we're going back to that.
Straight means that you like the person of the opposite sex than you have.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is that straight men are great, but what I have seen across the board is that you struggle the most with relationships, with sex, with sexuality.
Oh, that
all
makes
of
sense.
These things.
That makes a lot of sense.
And so that is part of why I'm very passionate about this work, because there are a lot of people that are helping everybody else who absolutely needs it, but I think for very good reason. Specifically like white straight men, y'all are left aside because the whole world has been built by you and is about you, and you didn't do the best job. So we can't leave you out of the conversation of changing things and of fixing things, especially when that's still the majority of the people who are in charge.
We've got an agenda. There's an agenda.
Well, more a focus than an agenda, because I was quite broad, and then it just kind of kept honing in, and I was like, you know what? I get along really well with men, and I really love these guys, and I know that they need help because most of my close friends are all dudes, and these are the conversations that we have.
Can I tell you something? And this is nothing about. I'm not defending fucking straight men because I can't stand straight men. I think the issue is people these days. I think anybody who is looking at people and going, the problem with you.
No, it's all of them.
The problem is you or the person pointing. Yeah. We all have our own fucking shit. People suck. People are also awesome. Mm-hmm. We just have to try our best to move the needle towards the awesome than the suck, because we all have the shoulder for the awesome and the shoulder for the suck. You know what I mean? They're always telling us both sides. You're right. Straight men do suck, but people suck.
But it's also a point of, culture and privilege and what all of you were raised into, what all of us were raised into. I wouldn't say it's anybody's fault. It's centuries worth of culture and society. I don't
even know what we're talking about, though, because this is a case-by-case basis. If you want to talk about, like, wealth and greed and stuff like that and generational things, like, totally different conversation. I was raised, for the most part, by a single mother who had way too much sex. You know what I mean? Like, I nothing about me is a straight man, but I yet fit in. But I fit into that box of straight men. So I don't particularly care for this conversation because it doesn't apply to me. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm a straight man and I'm part of the problem. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just do my best to try to not be part of the problem.
And I wouldn't phrase it that way.
I don't walk around, I do my best to try to treat everyone. Yeah. The golden rule, man. Whatever you were taught as a kid for how you should go to the playground is really still accurate as an adult. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Don't touch anyone unless you're don't, you know what I mean? Like, introduce yourself, be friendly, like all of those things. Golden rule. Treat someone how you wish to be treated. I don't know. When it comes to all that, I'm just a guy trying to be better at that. If all guys that are like me were trying to be better at that, I do think the world would be a better place. Yeah. Without a doubt.
But I think that there's also...
How do we do that? I don't know.
Yeah. And I think it's by creating space, making it known that it's safe for you to be vulnerable.
That's it. I was going to go there.
That's exactly what it is. Okay. It's creating space for men and for everyone. It's not just men. Like, this is something that everybody needs. But, it's creating space to know it's okay to be vulnerable, to teaching people to accept other people and whatever they are, whoever they are, come as you are. Mm. If you were born with a penis and you're telling me you're a woman, you're a woman, because that's what you're telling me. I mean, this is a whole different gender conversation, but it's not my place to tell you what your gender is. It's yours. You tell me, and I'll respect that.
I have a friend who's going through that right now. Mm-hmm. She's been confused for... I say she, which is sort of unfair because she identifies more as a he now, but I'm trying to tell the story more in order. I had this friend who she kind of always had a hard time fitting in, she was successful, people love her, she's beautiful, she's talented as a host type person, you know what I mean, as a public figure. And this person over the last couple of years has been going through some stuff and figuring life out and doing soul searching and doing all the things that you're supposed to do to figure it out. And recently has come out as that they feel that they identify as a effeminate male. So she's going through this process now of what exactly does that mean? Like, I've got these big boobs, but I identify as an effeminate male. I don't really care for these big boobs that I have that all these other guys do, you know what I mean? But she's figuring all that stuff out. Is this all part of the same world that you're talking about?
Absolutely. And, did they share with you their pronouns?
Are
they working on it?
We're working on it because the person's, I don't want to say too much information, but the person's, the girl name could simply be shortened to a very common male name. And that is what seems to be going on right now. Or simply using the last name, which I thought was very clever. Simply just going by your last name, which I was like, That's
that works
so
too.
smart. It's like
Yeah.
so smart.
Yeah. And a point of education just for everybody that's listening, when somebody does transition and they tell you what their name is, don't use what's called a dead name. So don't use the name that you formerly knew them as. That's
Right.
their dead name. And it's extraordinarily hurtful and painful for people to use that dead name.
For public space, let's just say like a Caitlyn Jenner or a Bruce
Mm-hmm.
Jenner, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's use that as the example.
Yeah. So Bruce Jenner, Bruce is gone.
Shouldn't-
There is no Bruce.
Now, even when
That's
you're referring back to the past, because this is a question I had as well.
Yeah.
So say you're referring back to the athlete who was in the Olympics in the 80s.
Yep.
That was Caitlyn Jenner?
That was Caitlyn.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
still Caitlyn. Caitlyn is still Caitlyn. Every single thing that Caitlyn achieved is still Caitlyn's.
Because Caitlyn has simply, this is an evolved version of what Bruce once was, but it still ties into what Caitlyn is at the core, what the person,
yeah,
the
who she
the
is.
human is as a core.
Exactly. And so
It's a lot to cover if you don't understand it. Like,
It's
this
so
is a
much.
major
This is-
awakening for society. It's got to be.
it's such a huge topic that we could never cover in one podcast.
Well, that's a great segue because you are
I'm
going
done.
to now have you're going to have a segment now.
Yeah.
You're going to come back more frequently.
Yeah.
And you're going to have your own agenda or prepared whatever. And this is what I want to talk about today. And whatever your 10 minutes or whatever. And we're looking forward to that. This is more of a hey, how's it going?
Totally. And answering questions too. I mean, it's also, I'm here. The whole point is so that I can be here to support people in a bigger way. We just talked, I do work full time, so it's hard for me to do anything more than just one client at a time. And I love doing that. But I want to be supportive in a much bigger way while I'm doing what I'm doing on the side, setting myself up. So, I'm here to answer your questions as well and support
Do
the
you guys
community.
have any sex questions? How often are you supposed to have sex?
It's completely up to you and your partner. There is no have it this many times, that many times. For some couples, 3 times a week is perfect. For some couples, once a week is perfect. For some couples, once a month is perfect. For some, once every 6 months. So it is truly up to you and your partner's needs. And sometimes those needs can be different. And one partner may have more desire to have more sex, and the other partner has less desire to have a lot of sex. And that's where you may need to explore the conversation of non-monogamy, which is a whole different conversation.
Polygamy. Or any other thing, other
There's many forms of non-monogamy. Yeah, polygamy is one of them. That is when one man has several wives. I think polyamory is what often.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that gets mixed up
I
all
meant
the time.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did because it was Valentine's Day yesterday, and then the people that you care about all post, and then sometimes you learn more about the people you care about that you didn't know previously.
Which
and I
we've
say,
had
good for
sidebar
them.
conversations because that person knew that I was non-monogamous as well. So that was one of our points of connection.
You don't know who I'm talking about, do you?
I do, because we've had multiple conversations about this, and I.
I didn't even think you knew her.
Oh no, this was great, somebody else. So this is 2 people. We're talking about different people.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was like mega confused. I was like, how in the
funny.
world? But meanwhile, it's a small world, so it's totally possible.
And there are more and more people now engaging in non-monogamous relationships than probably ever before out loud. They've always existed. Same thing as trans people have always existed. They've always been in the space because it's always been a part of reality and humanity.
But they used to have to exist within a safe space because public was not safe enough for them
it's
to.
It's still not safe enough for them.
That's
But we got to do the work to make it safe enough.
That's where I do feel very lucky. Where like, I get to just go walk down the street and like, I'm a male, white male. You know what I mean? Like I the things that you don't think about because other people have to deal with them and you don't. It's really weird.
It's privilege.
But awareness of that is huge because then the gratitude is like flowing all the time.
And then you have the ability to do something about it. When you see a space that somebody can't exist in as themselves, you have the ability as the person of privilege to speak to your peers and say, hey, I noticed that there's only a male and a female bathroom, and that's leaving a lot of people out. Is there any way that we can maybe make an all-gender bathroom? Maybe we can just bring both of these?
Yeah,
can they just be bathrooms? That's a thing that an ally can do. And
back to the straight men, though. We got to clean your
shit
shit up, dudes. God.
Yeah.
Put the
Listen,
seat down.
I've seen some nasty-ass women's bathrooms, okay? Like, do not be mistaken. Women are nasty.
For the most part, that's actually true when it comes to the actual mess. The ladies' rooms are made nicer, but how you all take care of them does not seem to be... You're right about
this
that.
is another
That's
thing.
funny.
Like people are gross.
Right. Just
That's why health and
humans.
safety is so important, and it's never going to leave our sets because people are gross.
Even after the COVID and everything.
Even
You're
after
right.
COVID, we're going to keep, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know what exactly it's going to look like, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to keep happening on our sets because humans are disgusting. I mean, think about all of the nasty ass lunch tables that all of us have sat in, all the weird places that you've eaten food, all the weird places you probably slept, like the nasty stuff you've touched, the times that maybe you didn't. Maybe I'm talking for myself because I've also worked as a first AD. So all the times that I'm like, I can't possibly drink water because I can't walk away.
Right.
That's very real.
I mean, we have that obviously as well. Yeah.
Yeah, forget it when you have your period on set.
Oh, I can't speak to that.
It's
That's you.
on some days when you're like, man, this is flowing and I can't go anywhere. So let's just hope it ain't leaking. But now there are things like Thinks underwear.
Well, beyond, you were also an AD. I mean, it's not like or producer, so it's not
both.
like it's not like you could just step away.
No,
that's
you
a
can't.
tough one.
Yeah. I've
Of all the things that you do, and there are many now that I'm learning more about you, what is your favorite?
You know, I don't think I could ever pick a favorite because, and that's why I do so many things, and I stopped trying. I really used to struggle for a long time, especially when I was coming up in production, and it was like, you have to go the producer path, you have to go the AD path, and I'm like, but I'm doing all right doing both. Like, I would hopscotch my jobs and do a little of this and do a little of that, and I think it did.
Unions and guilds don't want you to do that.
No, they don't want me to.
They
That's
want
why
your
I'm not in
pension
the
money.
DGA. I'm not in the DGA because of that. It's ridiculous. But let me tell you, I've run circles around a lot of DGA ADs. No offense, because there are some extraordinary ones, but also because bureaucracies, and I've spoken to so many other people that can't get into unions in different crafts, and it's, bureaucracies, different conversation. But I stopped trying to pick which one it is that I like. And now I'm just at the point where I'm like, you know what? I like my job. I'm doing well. I'm supporting people.
And
I love doing these other things. And I'm just going to keep showing up however I can. And that's how this whole thing happened. And you and I and all of us were having a conversation about sex coaching and, me just trying to figure out how can I show up.
I had so many questions.
You had so many
Because
questions.
we've been together for 11 years. And that's a long time in the world of sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, there's apps you can swipe to have sex now. That didn't exist when I was whatever. So, it's just a different world. So I had a lot of questions just to, like, the questions I was asking. We should talk about it here because they were hoping for some interesting sex talk. I was asking, like, is... people do things that they didn't used to do regularly now. I was like, so is anal just like part of, is that just like part of it now? Is that just kind of like,
here's the thing.
And you were like, well, look, everyone's different, but it's pretty standard.
Been around forever. They were having anal sex back in the Roman days.
That wasn't the question. I don't deny that.
I think more
there was
people...
homosexuality from before. There, I mean, of course, I don't deny
Yeah.
any of that. But I'm just curious as to what's happening out on the street these days. What are people doing? They're laying it down and everywhere, all over what's happening.
Yeah, people are all over the map. People
Okay.
are engaging in relationships where there's absolutely no sex and no touching, and it's all interpersonal connection. And there are relationships that are strictly sex that have literally nothing else to them. There are all different types of sex that people are having. I think we have more visibility and more accessibility to it these days.
I know you're giving the safe answer, but I'm just curious. For the people who are having sex, it seems like anal's a bigger thing than it used to be. And then the only reason I was asking is because I'm kind of a neat freak. I'm kind of a clean guy.
No, well, here's the thing. If you're going to have anal sex, there is preparation to be
That's
had.
what I've always said. So
Yeah,
it's so much work.
And people prepare in different
Like
ways.
what could it possibly... I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Well,
what do I know?
Let's talk about the cleanliness for a second.
Let's not.
Okay.
No. My point is, where I was going was how good could it be, and then it's not really about me at that point. It's about what she enjoys, because I'm aware now as an adult that that's a lot of pleasure can be derived from that. Which, as a kid, I'm just like, I don't like it. Why would anybody? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like.
Well, look, I know people that are with bi men and they're straight women, and they have learned to do some anal play for their partner.
Okay.
And it's gotten out of their comfort zone, and that does take work. But if you want to pleasure your partner and you're open to doing that, then you do it in a way that is measured and that does not cross any of your boundaries. That's going to be okay for the other person, and it's all communication. There's so much communication.
Yeah, and I need everybody to be very clear. There's no judgment on any
No.
of this. It's solely a place of curiosity for me.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody's doing. You should all do whatever the heck you want to do. Like, that's what makes me happiest,
Safely
is
and
when people are
consensually.
doing what they want to do
Yes.
and not bothering other people while they do it.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment. I just was kind of curious because, everything advances. Like, cars advance. And I stopped advancing from, 2005. Like, that's why our car is what it is.
Yeah.
I think of my music repertoire. It's like Dave Matthews Band and Blues Traveler and shit from the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of stopped. I don't really have a whole lot of new shit.
However, the technology has not stopped. So think about the cars and technology in cars and how it.
I know, that's what I don't like.
So that's.
That's why I'm at. This
stop.
is the nature of my
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
So I stop, and I'm stunted at these certain places in my
Mm-hmm.
life of where I'm comfortable. I'm like, okay, well, that's the right amount of that for me, and on whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was curious because of the way all things progress. That's why I was curious what people were doing. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time explaining why I asked the question.
I think these are valuable conversations. And,
Okay.
And because people are in the same boat as you, whatever it is that you're thinking and feeling and asking, I would put money on the fact that somebody else who will listen to this is going to think and feel the same exact thing.
Shit,
so
yeah,
even
yeah.
you just explaining it is
We're
validating.
doing this for other people.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
validating for somebody else to be like, oh my God, I'm not alone. I thought that too. Oh my God.
I think what I'm going to do for next time is I'm just going to literally draw a blue card of bonehead questions that
Yeah.
dumb guy sex questions to ask the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe we'll do some of that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's.
I don't know how we can make a game show out of that, but
Well, you got buzzers. I don't know.
Oh!
Press them up. Is that the pizza man?
it could be.
We
Hey,
do love
hey,
Weirdo's
weirdo.
Pizza.
But he won't deliver. You got to go get it.
I gotta go get it. It's just me. It's just me busting through the doors like, oh my God, it's pizza day, guys.
I told her last time, I was like, all right, here's the deal. I'm ordering, I'm paying, but Ariel's picking it up. She goes, all right, we'll see Ariel in the parking lot. I'm like, all right. Also, I found out just yesterday it's Ariel. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, listen, everybody says the mermaid name, and this
That's
is
why I did it.
but it's on me
Under
too.
the sea.
I think I've blocked it out of my brain because I'm so used to hearing people say Ariel instead of Arielle that I don't notice it. It's always somebody else that's like, her name is Arielle. And I'm like, oh, were they saying it wrong? Okay. And especially after living in New Zealand where everyone goes Ariel, like they couldn't even like that.
Ariel?
Ariel. I don't know. They said something like that.
I like it. I like Ariel.
Kevin Nealon used to call me Areola.
You worked with Kevin Nealon?
When I used to sling drinks at the Improv, I worked by day as a talent agent, and night I was a server at the Improv, and the house MC was my client, and I made him a lot of money.
Craig Robinson would call her a limo driver.
I bet.
It's just like, man, it just keeps coming out. There's another onion. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers.
You know how you told me that I'm an old soul?
Yeah. Oh, because of all the
I
previous.
think I'm an old.
Well, that's why I wanted to
don't
watch
know.
that movie with you that time because I knew you guys would get it.
Yeah.
You,
That
Manuel.
was a really, really good one.
We're talking about defending your life.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. Also really enjoyed our late night school that you're putting me through, and I love that.
Oh, stay for another episode. We're talking about, it's available on HBO Max, by the way, in case anybody hasn't seen it, but it's the story of late night, and it was done on CNN by Bill Carter and the New York Times people. It's really good, really, really well done. But the whole thing from like Jack Parr and Steve Allen all the way through to like modern day stuff.
It's really interesting to connect with the things that you knew and not realize that you knew, and then learn so much of what you didn't know. And there was that moment
where they all came from sometimes too.
Well, we were talking about Jimmy Fallon and his mannerisms, and was it Johnny Carson?
Yeah, you said, "Oh, look
It
at that! He
was
looks just like Jimmy
creepy.
Fallon," and I was like, "Well, he's standing in the exact same spot." I mean, like the Fallon Tonight Show did it on purpose. They literally get the suits cut and tailored the same way. They did the hair cut the same way.
It was fascinating to actually watch Carson, because I don't know that I've actually seen him that young.
No, we all think of old Johnny Carson, retired with the old fat. Everything's our grandparents when he was young and hip. We don't think of old people being young and hip, but we're all going to be old at some point.
Yeah,
we're not young and hip forever,
and we're all, whoever wants to, going to still be having sex, because guess what? Old people still have sex.
Great point, because I was going to bring up Betty White, and she loved to have old people sex.
Love Betty White.
She's a prime example.
Yeah. And they actually, talking about technology and how things progress, there are a lot of sex toys that are built specifically for people with disabilities and specifically for people who are older and maybe they have arthritis or maybe they can't reach certain places. There are all sorts of different tools that are being created. And it's amazing because that means that sex and sexuality and pleasure is more accessible for all humans in different stages of their life. Because again, it is creativity, it is vitality, it is a part of us as human beings.
And then what does the church say about that?
Drugs are bad, okay?
Just curious.
It's really interesting because what you see with very religious people, especially women, is that they grow up saying, don't have sex, you can't have sex, sex is bad, chastity, 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 and then as soon as they get married, they're expected to be a slut. How are you possibly going to make that change in your brain, let alone your body? The same thing for men. They're taught the same things, and then whatever their expectation is from porn, and then there's confusion because the church is saying.
I don't think everyone's taught
all this.
You make a lot of gross generalizations, like everyone's taught this and
do,
everyone's
yeah,
taught that.
You're right. No,
I
shouldn't say
don't agree
everyone.
with that because I haven't agreed with any of them yet.
No. I don't mean to say everyone, and that is, and thank you for calling that out because I do need to correct my language, and that is something that I've always struggled with, and especially as an educator. I need to learn to say
That's
a
all
lot
I was thinking
of.
about.
No,
You're
100%.
someone who should have credibility.
No, you're right. But all of us are humans. And that is what you were talking about, being scared of saying the wrong thing.
That's me.
It is terrifying to be a sex educator. It is terrifying because there's so many ways that I can screw up and I'm going to screw up and I address that. And so,
Not really. I mean, it's all kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, but
you're just telling someone to chase their joy and what feels good, and you know what I mean. Like maybe if you're unpacking, maybe there's some.
Yes and no, but like I would say more of this type of a setting, and more.
I'm not a.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't make it easy for everybody.
You don't have to. It's not your job to, but it is my job to be cognizant and be inclusive. That's my job. It's my job to make sure that I'm aware of my own language, and that is my job.
Well, I think you do a pretty good job overall.
Well, thanks.
But there was a few things that gave me a little spidey sense, and I was like, well, trigger.
No,
Must be about me. Must be about me. And that's when I think to myself, it's not about you, because I'm an adult now, and I'm like, ooh, why? Because it is about me, whatever that was for me.
And I should not say everybody, and I should not say always. None of us should, because that is not the truth.
Maybe it's because I struggled so hard to get out of that habit. I bet that's what it is.
All of it. See?
Because it's
I'm
hard.
Doing it again.
It's
I'm
hard.
doing it again.
It's hard.
But most of us do struggle with that.
Yeah.
We literally are in conversation about it, and I just did it. So, we are humans.
Struggle is real. The struggle is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you enjoy? I mean, I could talk to you forever, but did you enjoy this experience?
I love this. This is great. I love the two of you so deeply. You are just such incredible human beings, and I adore you, and I love what you're doing here, and I love the community that you've cultivated. I would have never guessed in a million years that the majority of my best friends in LA are car people. Are like who would have ever guessed this? But some of my deepest, most intimate relationships are people from the community that you cultivated, and that. I mean, I know you don't take that easily. I know you're like, no, it's not me. But the truth is,
we're all just part of something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take credit for something that's. We're just part of the soup.
No, but you created the space. You showed up, and you are the people that you are, and that is what is the word? It's not addictive, but it's infectious. I don't know. It's something good and yummy and delicious, and especially for those of us, that nougat.
Yummy and delicious.
You are the nougat that keeps Good Vibes Breakfast Club together.
I'll take it. Sprinkle some peanuts in there. We should all spend time in Europe. Europeans have a better outlook on sex, says Matt Vander Weilen.
That is true. Not all. It depends on the country that you're in and the culture of that country and the religion of that country. Oof,
you all right?
I can't speak. Yeah, I know. Culture, country, all of it.
Arielle, how do you keep yourself from slipping up and referring to the dead name by accident? This is back referring to the trans conversation we had earlier.
You are going to make.
Autokennel.
That's an excellent question, and you're going to make mistakes. You are. Because again, we are all human. But it's about how we move through those mistakes. So instead of lingering and saying, oh my God, I just said your dead name. I'm so sorry for saying your dead name. I just used blank name. It's not about that. It's just moving on. You say, let's say the dead name is Dave and the real name is Lauren. You could say,
just go back to...
sorry, Bruce and Caitlin.
We've established that that's what we're using.
We did.
It's easier.
Yeah, I have ADHD, so my memory's not great.
Right.
terrible at callbacks and improv. Great at improv because I don't remember what just happened, but bad at callbacks.
Yeah, and I was like really good at concentration.
We could use each other, or I could use some of that concentration.
So
Anyway,
the better thing is to just kind of keep going.
Yeah. So instead of, and even if you're, so let's give 2 examples. So let's say you're in conversation with Caitlin and you say, oh yeah, Bruce and I were doing whatever Caitlin and I were doing the other day, and you just move on. And if you're in conversation with somebody else, and they say, oh yeah, I was with Bruce the other day, and you can just say, oh, do you mean Caitlin? Yeah.
I can do that.
You can do that. Exactly. So when people come on the show, please do expect that he's going to do that. You can also...
And then when they talk about Caitlin, I go...
Yay! But it really is about acknowledging, make the correction, and move on. It's not about lingering. It's not about over-apologizing, feeling guilty, da-da-da-da-da. It's not about that. It's about make the correction, move on. Carry through with the conversation because nobody wants to linger in that dead name.
So the answer is you can't help from slipping.
Yeah.
So just don't beat yourself up about it and move on.
You're a human.
Reggie Watts. But at the same time, people transitioning, I have to have a lot of patience and forgiveness for those.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. At the same time, people transitioning, I feel that's a very fair statement.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, all over the place, we need to have patience for each other because, and especially when we're talking about transitioning, it is such a hard thing to do. And if you are trans or gay or any part of the LGBTQIA plus categories,
oh wow,
yeah, it's a lot.
It's getting bigger.
If you are any part of those categories, then you are perpetually coming out, always in your job, in your personal life, in your family, everywhere you go, you are constantly coming out. So that's something that us people who don't have to do that should acknowledge. But also on the other side of things, if you are in transition or coming out in any way, shape, or form, we do need to have a little bit of compassion for those around us who this may be brand new for. It is not your job to teach anybody anything, and it is not your job to break boundaries or to put up with stuff or anything like that. You stick to your boundaries. But I think as humans...
You were very firm with that. That was like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that what you like when you sex coach?
Sometimes if somebody needs it.
Just asking.
Yeah. No one should allow anyone to overstep their boundaries. You know, you got to keep your boundaries. That's what keeps us healthy. And that is a very, very important thing. But it doesn't mean that we can't be patient with each other, especially if it's somebody that maybe has never experienced. Like, I'm the first Jew that probably 100+ people have ever met in their lives. So I had to be a little bit patient with those people and make corrections and be like, hey, you just so you're aware, that's not okay. And then they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. But it's not my job to teach them. It would really be like somebody else's job to teach them. So as it pertains to anyone that's transitioning, on either side of it, we just need patience, we need kindness, and we just need acceptance. And if somebody is telling you what their name is, use that name. If they're telling you their pronouns, use their pronouns. If they're telling you their boundaries, keep those boundaries and pay attention to when they're telling you those things.
All right. We're going to need to have you make these a little more concise, these answers. My goodness gracious. Anytime there's anonymity, people are going to be gross, says Sean Aaron. I don't know if I agree with that. I think of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I don't think of gross
I don't
people.
know.
I think of, I mean, what are we talking about? Secret societies? I mean, maybe they're
Yeah,
gross.
I'm not
I don't
sure
know.
what the context of that
I would need more information on
Yeah.
that. Maybe you're right. Maybe I agree. I don't know. Oh, more Love Face XYZ online stripper stuff. Okay, great. Fantastic. Oh, there's a bunch of those. I'll just skip down to the bottom.
All right.
I love this conversation, says Reggie Watts.
Thanks, Reggie.
And stay pragmatic, says Reggie Watts.
You're very engaging, and this is delightful. Thank you for being so engaging.
I could talk to you forever. We've done the time. It's already 6:30. I mean, I know we started late, but we've been going here for a while. Is there anything that you want to say? Like, is there anything you came that you wanted to tell people or that you think is extra important that they should know on your first visit? Otherwise, you're just going to be back next month.
Yeah, I think communication. Always bring it back to clear communication, because you cannot assume that other people know what you're thinking or what you're feeling. And when other people are expressing things to you, pay attention. Remember those conversations.
That's
because
good advice.
They
Great
matter.
advice.
Those conversations matter. It doesn't matter how casual, you know, you could be on the couch, you could be in a car, you could be wherever you are. But if you're having an important conversation, remember it. And if there's something on your mind, speak your truth. in a neutral setting. Don't do it when you're fighting. That's not a good time.
Oh, but that's when you think of everything.
Yeah, that's when you gotta. Nothing's gonna happen.
That's when your brain is totally
Yeah.
inflamed and you're like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and another thing. I'll tell you something else.
And well, listen, we should do a whole episode on how to fight clean because that's.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
I am Mr. Clean Fighter because I don't fight with an ego. I have no interest in
Yeah.
fighting. So all I'm trying to do is end the fucking fight. This isn't just with you. This could be with anybody.
Yeah.
In this case, someone.
Let's not point fingers.
No, that's what we did at our role plays. We figured out very early on in our relationship that me being like you or her being like you, we just both agreed to say someone. Well, someone left the cap off the thing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I know only 2 of us live here, and it wasn't me. So
Oh,
I don't
let's
know who
do
it was.
a
It was
whole
someone. It
episode
was
on
just
that.
someone. But
Yes.
somehow someone wasn't inflammatory to either one of us. When the sentence starts with someone, we both would start laughing because it's funny.
Yeah.
Our little seesaw thing we made was funny, and then it diffused it from here on out forever. So that's our private joke, but I highly recommend anybody else trying something like that.
But that's beautiful because it's a tool that the two of you came up with together and agreed upon together
Yeah,
that
not
allowed
from
you
our-
to express what you needed to express. And
Yeah.
that is what is important.
Yeah, that didn't come from the therapist either. We tried to we started doing the marriage thing before marriage counselor thing like before we got married, to try to kind of
Yeah.
start it off right.
Finding a therapist
Be
or a
healthy.
coach, but finding a therapist or a coach is like dating. It's got to be the right partner.
Yeah, I don't think we had one that was smart enough for
Yeah.
us. I think we were both kind of I think all 3 of us were running each other. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking circus.
And a lot of therapists are not necessarily sex positive, so it is important that you look into that kind of stuff too.
I'm trying to think. I think we did talk a bit about sex back then with her, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. I don't know. Whatever. How do people follow you? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. This was great. I'm sorry I was so out of sorts in the beginning. I one more hour. I needed one more hour today.
Totally fine. I too was out of sorts.
And she was having a bad day, just MS bullshit stuff,
Which,
mother
by the way,
sucker.
Nicole, I would not know because you are such an extraordinary friend, and I love you within all of the depths of my soul.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
You're a pretty damn good friend too there, Arielle. Now that I know your name.
Oh, you nailed it. No, but thank you so much for creating the space for me to come here because
This is going to be fun. This was
is.
just sort of
This
a
is so
meet
much
and
fun.
greet, get to know you. In the future, it's going to be like, there's going to be outfits. It's going to be a whole thing. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be.
I did have one thing to show you. Can I bring out
Sure.
one last thing?
You can do whatever you want. What do you do? What are we doing? Where'd you go?
I went over here.
What is that?
It's a vulva puppet. Where's the camera?
Oh my gosh! Wherever the red light is.
Where's? Oh, there it is.
Wow.
It's a vulva puppet. We'll talk about this another time.
You're going to show it, but not talk about it?
No, we gotta
All right.
leave them wanting more.
What's up?
Hey,
What's
easy.
under there? What's under there?
The clitoris
Ah!
is underneath.
Not everyone knows I'm showing the kids,
there it is.
the people at home.
I'm not used to being on this side of the
Yeah, I was
camera.
going to say,
look
but
for
you
the red-
work in studios. It's wherever
I
the
know,
red
but I'm
light
also
is.
used to an AD or stage manager. There it is. See, I can follow you. I can follow you now. Let's do the test. Where is? Are you
Yeah.
testing? Ooh,
It's whack-a-mole.
super fun. Anyway,
It's all the
clitoral hood, clitoris.
There you go. Okay.
Love your vulva.
But it's not a puppet.
It is. I can stick my hand in it.
So
Love me. Treat me well.
I said,
Wait
your
for
vulva's
me to
not
expand.
A your
Don't
vulva's
just
not a
stick
puppet.
things in here.
Your vulva's not a puppet. She goes, no, it is. I can stick my hand in it.
Yeah, that one too.
I'm over it.
Anyway.
Let's see. I don't know what's happening Thursday because here's the blue card from today. It never got filled out. There you go. We love everybody.
Oh yeah, follow me on Babes and Classics. 'Cause
There it is.
Y'all follow me there anyway, so you might as well just keep on coming.
Babes and Classics, but you also have Arielle Zadok.
Yeah, that's great.
Is it great, but not right.
No, I like that. I'm having like a
What
whole
do you
thing.
say?
I say Zadok, but sometimes
Zadok.
I say Zadok. It's a weird thing.
Her maiden name. I just had a fucking stroke. Her maiden name was Chabot, Chabot, which is beautiful and nice. Except it's French Canadian, and it's pronounced in a way that makes no sense to me whatsoever. It should either be Chabot if you're doing the sh with a ch,
The French
and you do the
part.
ot Chabot, or Chabot if you're Shabbat, like doing the ch from the sh.
Yeah, I get that.
And then At.
Well, it's similar with my name because my dad's Israeli and he whitewashed his name when he came here.
This
and
is
he
why
went
I'm asking.
from
Maybe it's something similar.
Arielle Zadok, and then he came to the U.S. when he was in his 20s, tried to obviously work as immigrants do, and he changed his name to Philip Zadok. And then
Wow.
eventually he got over the whole Philip thing and was like, this is dumb. People should just learn how to say the name Hillick. And so they do. And they did.
All right, there you go. Tune in March for more sex. And in the meantime, communicate and have sex and communicate while
Yes.
you have sex. I don't know what I'm talking.
Yeah, no, communicate when you have sex.
So
Before,
much
after,
talking.
during,
I guess maybe it depends on who you're talking to.
but it leads to better sex.
If you're talking to someone,
Talk to yourself, too. Someone.
all right, we love everybody. I love you. We love you. We all,
you.
with the vulva puppet, love you. Please love one another, and well, how about that, huh? We'll see you Thursday. I don't remember what's up.
This is great. You're great.